Hey, welcome back. So today we're just going to sit and have a little chat. We get asked a question all the time. So some of the videos going onto YouTube now will just be me and Kai sat talking, asking and answering the questions that you guys send in on a regular basis.
Cool.
Where shall we start?
Right, let's get started with probably the most common one that we get in is what's the number one piece of advice that you can give to somebody who's starting the process of learning how to tattoo?
That's a vague one, this, isn't it?
It is a bit, yeah. I feel like there's a lot to choose from.
Yeah, I think the main thing, and you'll obviously back this up, is people run before they can walk.
Yeah.
And what I mean by that is people will, as soon as they get a kit, they get everything plugged up, they're ready to go. Instead of following a structure, and it's a natural thing, they want to do the fancy stuff straight away. We see it in group, the Facebook group all the time. Instead of following the structured lessons that we've provided, people want to do the fancy designs. And then what happens then is, one, the designs are a fraction of the level of what they could be if they'd have done it at the right stage. And it's almost like driving instructors.
Yeah.
When they say that the worst person that they could have in the car is somebody that's already drove illegally because they pick up bad habits.
Yeah.
So starting right from day one and following a structure is the right way. So I think the best bit of advice is don't rush, do things at the correct speed and the correct time.
Yeah. I mean, I can give you a really fun example of this. Yesterday, me and my partner had like a sit down and just crafting different things there. And I was like, you know what? I've never really been able to paint anything particularly well. It's not one of the things I can do. But I want to do some painting. So we went to a shop and we bought some paints and some canvases. And I did a really nice background. And I was like, right, I'm going to try and paint something. And rather than, trying to do something simple, even though I've got no painting ability, I was like, I'm going to try and do something complicated. And guess what? It was dog shit.
We need to see a picture of this guy.
Hold on.
Hey, just quickly, in the description there's a link to my new book, Learn How to Tattoo. It covers all the lessons in the first 30 days, plus my journey through the tattoo industry, showing the mistakes so that you can avoid them. Also, I'll add a link to the new clothing brand. Make sure that you grab yours and be proud to be part of this next generation of tattooists. That's all, guys. Enjoy the video and make sure that you're subscribed and have that little bell press so that you're notified when we upload. We've got a shitload of stuff coming to the channel very soon. Cheers.
Hold on. So I started off doing something else and then it varied and it ended up as that.
Joseph, that actually looks quite good.
So I really like the background. I put a lot of effort into the background, and then I started doing some screen. I'll pop this up on the screen.
That's actually quite good. That's funny.
So yeah, it didn't go well.
So I think that looks quite good, to be fair. It's funny, isn't it?
Yeah.
Obviously, it's not a fucking portrait.
No, but that's what it was intended to be when I started.
Oh, is that a realistic chicken?
No, it was never going to be a chicken. It was supposed to be a person. It was supposed to be like... It was supposed to be like a really nice, simplistic, line drawing of a portrait. And I did the first few lines. And it just was not going well. So I was like, fuck this, I'm going to make a chicken.
Fucking hell. Another example is... and we mentioned it on the live, she'll not have any problems with me mentioning her name, but Kim.
Yeah.
So one of the students that's been through the entire course, we're sending work in, and I always give an honest opinion of what I'm seeing in front of me. And I said, look, you need to go right back to basics. There were certain things, basics, that had been missed. And just by doing the drills that... they're not the most fun to do, but they are what's going to...
That's the thing. People find it boring just doing lines, but they don't realise how important it is.
Yeah.
You get your line work perfect, and that's going to, get everything else really good. There's lots of people that are posting in the Facebook group, and they'll put up, images of designs that they've just, they've got the free 30 days, and they jump in, and they go, right, I've got a machine, I'm going to do some designs. And one of the main bits of advice that I always tell people is when they're posting up these is go right back to the start, do all the line work drills again, and then do the same stencil again, and just put it side by side, and the difference is crazy.
Yeah, I think because of how simple the drills are, so anybody that's on my free 30 day or the full course, we hammer basics again and again and again. And there's reason behind that, and that is the method of learning. If you're just doing a straight line or a box or one of the earlier designs that are specifically picked because they're really, really simple, you'll look at them and think, well, I can do that, that's shit. It's pointless doing that. But when you do just a straight line on its own, if that straight line is not perfect, you can instantly see every single problem with that line. Whereas if you've got a full design, so to speak, and you're looking at it, although it does matter, it's not as eye-catching straight away if there's a mistake here and there, because the overall image distracts you from the mistake. So the fastest way to improve is by doing simple drills. Again, going back to the thing, don't run before you can walk.
I'd also say
take things slow.
Use a narrower gauge needle as well, because I've seen a few people using the really wide ones that hide the mistakes a little bit.
Yeah. So even on that note, I would start simple. Again, walking before you can run. Use a 7-9 liner just to get some straight lines. Once you're comfortable with that gauge, then use a finer needle, a 10 gauge, or a 3, a 5, and then you work backwards. So the bigger the needle, the more it almost hides the wobble, if you suffer from that. And then as you improve, gradually get finer and finer and finer. But it is the thinner the needle, definitely is more difficult. So yeah, I think the number one advice, it's so easy on YouTube, and a lot of people on the course, we've had hundreds of thousands of people go through the 30 days. One of the biggest things that people say when they're sending like a thank you message is the structure is what made the difference. And that's, some of these people have spent 2-3 years on YouTube bouncing about. So the idea is to go from point A to point B as quick as possible and as structured as possible. But what you find is on YouTube, you learn this, then this, then this, and you're literally just jumping around from one thing to another. There's zero structure. So what we've found is people will, they could be on YouTube just jumping from one thing to another for a year, 2 years, and then literally do the 30-day course with that structure and that progressive learning, and see that they've actually learnt more in 30 days
than they had in the 2 years previously.
Than 2 years just jumping about anywhere, and it's because of the structure.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think that's the
best
biggest thing.
Give.
So the number one piece of advice that I can give to anybody, whether you're on my course, in an apprenticeship, anything, it is irrelevant. I want to help you nonetheless. It doesn't matter which method of learning you're using, is take things slow and do not run before you can walk. You'll be thankful in 6 months' time if you've spent 6 months doing the absolute basics, hammering the lessons on line work, doing all the drills, doing all the boxes with different shading. Then in a few months, once you implement that into basic designs, medium designs, then more difficult ones, you will be so thankful that you spent and dedicated hours and hours and hours of practice and study to the basics, because it's like doing a portrait. If you can get simple shades in the box and you can blend from dark to light and you can get consistent shades in the drills, there is no reason at all why you can't break an image down of an eye, a nose, an ear, hair, and replicate those same
all the way to a portrait.
Yeah, things right up to top level.
Yep.
There's nothing difficult about doing the more complicated designs once you understand the basics.
Yeah.
I think that hopefully that answered the question.
It does. If you'd like to see more of these videos where we're just going to kind of sit down and have a chat, drop us a comment. If there's any questions you want to throw in, drop it in the comments below, and we'll try and do more videos like this and answer them. If anyone wants me to paint a whole portrait and show you how bad it comes out, put a comment in.
I'm going to comment just so we can all have a laugh at Kai. On that note, cheers, Kai.
We'll see you in the next one.
See you in the next one. Cheers.